everybody, welcome to the show. And boy, are we looking forward to this. We've been counting the days like Christmas, haven't it?
Yeah, we have. It's been so long, hasn't it, T?
Well, no, I mean, this is our first show.
Yeah, right.
Anything we did before was a dress rehearsal, folks. This is the debut show podcast of T and J Take Over the World.
Big takeover.
Yeah?
Yeah, big takeover, isn't it?
It's our takeover bid.
Yeah.
It is our invasion in your ear holes or your eye sockets, depending on which medium you're ingesting this. Ingesting? Sounds like a culinary show.
What are these words about? Gosh.
Anywho, this is our show, T and J. I'm T.
I'm J.
And we have our bid and our manifesto to take over the world. If not the planet, we're going to take over your world of your journey to work, listening with your earbuds, or watching on your little smartphone, or maybe you come home for a treat and you divulge, you savor the sweet tastes of T and J. I waffled a bit there, didn't I?
Yeah, you always waffle, T. Always waffle.
Throwing me under the bus. Just in case you didn't guess by observation, we are a married couple. We are celebrating our... Oh, I don't want to get this wrong, otherwise I'm in the doghouse.
Yes.
We are... I need a friend, throw me a lifeline. We are celebrating 18 years of marriage this year.
That's crazy, isn't it? Nearly two decades, sorry.
Yeah. We've been...
nearly 2 decades.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We've been together 21 years, haven't we?
Yeah, we've been together 21 years. And it's gone really quickly. Really, really quick. Wow.
21 years of bliss. Yeah. Absolute paradise. No arguments.
Yeah.
No fuss. No fussing and fighting.
Really, T?
Just, you're spoiling the illusion now. They almost bought it. You almost bought it back home or wherever you are. But we've stopped and started in many projects. We try to do stuff together, push back, pull, push and pull. But this is a new year, 2022. This is an exciting time. We've come out of the pandemic.
Oh, thank God.
Henceforth, we're going to call it the crown. We're not going to say the C word. No, it's a naughty word online, especially for podcasts and broadcasts and YouTubes and all that stuff. So we'll call it the big C. We are, getting at the positive end of post big C. And you know what? So much has happened. So we thought, you know what? This is a time. We're both talkers. We love the gift of the gab. We have strong opinions, hence why we called it Take Over the World. You get that person who always has an opinion and always putting, usually cab drivers, and they want to put the world to rights. Have you experienced that?
Yeah, I've experienced that, because it's like people just want to talk. People just want to say their opinions, and we're entitled to it. We're supposed to be living in a freedom of speech. Yeah, have you heard of that word? Freedom of speech?
I don't know what you're talking about. This is when the police come, I'll just, point them that way.
All right.
Yeah. Anywho, so give us a bit of an overview of what we're going to be chatting about today. Just a brief synopsis of the show.
Yeah, so a synopsis of our show is going to be called Why this podcast? Why T and J Take Over the World? So we're going to be talking about our new podcast, why behind it. Why we're doing what we're doing today. That is what we're going to be talking about, and why you all do what you do, because there must be a reason why you do something. To impress people, maybe? Is it to show off? Is it just to get yourself out there? Why? There must be a why for everything, right?
Absolutely. And one of a really good book that why? Oh, why? A really good book that we've looked at and we own and we referenced a few times is a book called Start With Why. It is by a guy called Simon Sinek. Great writer, great business and lifestyle, I guess you could say, guru, but he's not really a guru type. He's more of a kind of like, hanging out in a coffee shop with a MacBook and a latte. But he's very much on the whole concept of you need to start whatever you're doing. There are businesses that just essentially strong arm their workers into going in a certain direction, or they might use different incentives and they may apply bully tactics, or they may just not really have a clear way of motivating their staff, except for maybe threatening them with a sack.
Yeah.
But Simon Sinek, he goes into companies and he encourages managers, CEOs to really think about the why behind what they're doing and how that can motivate those who work for them. Because ultimately it's a team spirit, a teamwork. It takes, it's a teamwork to make the dream work, they say.
Yeah.
Have you heard that phrase?
Yeah, I've heard that phrase.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Teamwork to make the dream work. But in order for the dream to be manifest, there needs to be an understanding of why.
Yeah.
So,
That's really important.
Jolene,
Yeah.
J, I'm the T, you're the J. Why doing this podcast?
I think personally for my personal opinion, me doing this podcast is for me to get my voice out there, to, get my audience. There's people who want to hear my voice. And also as an advocate myself, is to stand beside people, especially for people of the voiceless who can't speak for themselves, and to be on here, to be able to even ask questions and everything, to sort of, because obviously they can't, you're listeners. So I'm asking the questions, and then, I can be almost like a problem solver sort of thing. So I think for me, personally for me, from my personal opinion, is why I'm doing this podcast, is to get my voice out there, my opinions. I've got an opinion, T's got an opinion, and also to stand it as an advocate for the voiceless, because a lot of people want to ask questions, but they don't have this platform. So I think for me personally, having this podcast will help that, definitely, for people who can't speak up for themselves. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
Totally. I think, that sounds very worthy, that answer. I'm sure more lighthearted reasons why you want to do this podcast. Sounds like you're running for mayor or to be an MP or something. Yes, I want a better society, and I will promise, I'll make it my pledge to make this a better world, a better place for you and for me and the entire human race. There are people dying. If you care, I can't say too much, otherwise I might get sued for lyric infringement. Anyway, come on.
Yeah, I think as well is to talk, just to be fun, entertain. We have a lot of topics we're going to talk about. We've got plans to talk about, and just to share our opinions, and just to be fun. There's so many things obviously coming out of, I'm not going to say the word. People just want to be entertained, because there's so much things going on in the world as it is. That's crazy at the moment. Lots going on in the world. So, I think for me, that is my why. And I think even from Simon Sinek, is it Sinek?
I think Sinek.
Sinek, yeah.
If you're listening, Simon, please correct my wife.
I think the why is important, because when you know your why, people will buy your product. They will listen to whether it's your YouTube, whether it's your podcast. If you don't know why you're doing something, people be like, what is this all about? You'll confuse your audience. So I think it's important to know why you're doing something. Why do you get up out of bed every day? Why do you, have less sleep to edit or whatever you're doing? You've got to know why. And that's what you always have to ask yourself.
Just in case you didn't get it, folks. Why, and then why again? And if you don't know why, then ask someone why.
Exactly.
Why, oh, why, oh, why? Why me?
Or just
why
what
me?
you do, you just keep on watching this video over and over again, and
Yeah.
then you know your why.
We'll set you straight.
Yeah.
As part of our world domination is subliminals, mind control. You will go out and get that job or bring us all the money. You'll be our worker ant while we're in the beehive. Anyway, so in terms of, that's our why. We love communicating. You're the advocate.
I am.
I'm the storyteller. You may have seen us. We're creative. So I'm an actor. I've taken a bit of time out, but I was an actor for some time. Don't ask me what you've seen me in, but if you must, we were on a major TV commercial last year as a family. I'm the actor, but I brought the whole family along.
Wow, you brought us in.
We have 3 children.
If it wasn't for you, we wouldn't have been in the advert.
Yeah, I mean, we've got, I know.
You're the bringing.
I'm the star of the show.
Yeah.
But we have 3 children, 2 teenagers and a preteen. And we were the face of Tesco Mobile last year. No, 2020.
No, 2020. No,
Sorry.
2 years ago. No, almost
Time's
2
going.
years ago.
Almost 2 years ago, from September 2020 till about November. It was like a 3-month commercial. We shot in the summer of 2020, the hot summer, where there was all sorts of stuff going on. There was racial tensions, BLM, post the tragic death or killing, now you can say, of George Floyd. And we were like one of the first Black families in Britain to be featured in a major commercial. And I certainly think we're the only family that actually was a flesh and blood family. So obviously people would assume that we were all actors, we're all pretending to be happy families, but we actually were, believe it or not, who knew, a real flesh and blood family. The kids loved it. It was very entertaining. And it was just really great to share with them some of what Dad does every now and again for a living. They shot in our house, our very house.
That was really fun, actually, and weird at the same time, because it was like we had the crew, they all had masks on, didn't they? And then after, remember at lunchtime, they took it off, and it's like, I was thinking,
yeah.
Is that what they look like?
It was like being directed by a team of ninjas.
Yeah.
And then it was like, guess who? It was like match the voice to the face. It's like, or the eyes, like that. What match this part to the bottom? I was like, that ain't you. Ooh, you deceiver.
But you did really well. You had to do longer hours than we did, because you're the main star. This guy was the main star. He was like, what?
See why I married her, folks. She says the sweetest things. So, yeah, I'm an actor. Jay, we're both creatives. Jay, you've done kind of a few bits, isn't it? A little bit of modelling, a little bit of writing.
A little bit of writing, bit of extra work as well. I've been in 2 major films, which I won't talk about.
No, mention who you worked with.
I worked with Tom Cruise.
I'm the actor, but get a load of this one.
Oh, yeah, I was in a film with Steven Spielberg.
Well, not in, he's not an actor.
Ready Player One.
A film directed by, you mean?
Yeah, film directed by Steven Spielberg called Ready Player One. It was amazing because he actually...
Small indie movie.
Normally, film directors, they don't direct the extras. So we had a moment there, and he directed it, and that was really fun.
So get this, folks. Really I'm the actor, trained and everything, agent. And she's the one who gets to work with, like literally for a scene directed by, the greatest living director on the planet, Mr. Steven Spielberg. Yep. And she was also a background in a Tom Cruise movie, one of the Mission Impossible, and got to be around him and stuff like that.
And I'm actually seeing in the film, like Mission Impossible, was that the 6th one, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And you can see me at the front, because I always go near where the cameras are, because it's where you have to, as an extra, you can't be like standing at the back. You got to get to the front, right near the camera, and trust me, as long as they don't edit you out, you get seen. Not
even remotely subtle, She blatantly goes where the limelight is.
Yeah, of course.
But I think, folks, I can trump that, because I'm a fan of a franchise. It's probably the godfather, the king of movie franchises, set in a galaxy far, far away. And I got to be in, wait for it, The Force Awakens. Yes, folks, you heard me correctly. I was in the first of the brand new Star Wars sequel trilogies. Whatever you think about those movies, whatever you think or you thought about The Last Jedi, let it go, folks. The amount of people that are like, really, literally, you'd think someone, murdered their folks, like something, because of a movie. The Last Jedi, though, is an okay movie. I had some problems with grumpy granddad, get off of my property, Luke. And as well as many things, you can't bite anyone. But generally, come on, it wasn't that bad.
It's a shame that you were in film.
Yeah.
But that one wasn't that bad. It's when the other ones came along.
Yeah, don't steal my thunder, missus. I wasn't in The Last Jedi.
I know you were.
I was in The Force Awakens, the ones that everybody loved when it came out. And then they suddenly retroactively hate it.
The ones to follow weren't great. So it kind of dismissed all of it.
Sorry, Ryan. Sorry, JJ. But yeah, I was a resistance trooper, wasn't I?
Yeah, you were a resistance trooper, weren't you? And you've got a toy, haven't you?
There's a toy.
Yeah.
I'll get it out one of these days.
Yeah.
And
That was
I
so fun.
got to work with my favorite characters
Yeah, who'd you
in
go
Star Wars. I mean, I love Luke Skywalker. He's great and he is the hero.
Yeah.
But growing up, it was Han and Chewie. Han Solo
Wow.
and Chewbacca, the Wookiee. I absolutely adored Chewie, as a lot of the people do. And I got to be in a scene with Han, Chewie, and Princess Leia and C-3PO. And of course, I love Princess Leia, the late, great Carrie Fisher. So that was a huge moment. So picture the scene. There's one day I'm on set and there's a Millennium Falcon and seated outside is Harrison Ford, dressed as Han Solo, Chewbacca, and Carrie Fisher as Princess Leia, and C-3PO and R2. Obviously, Luke was missing, and obviously at that point we didn't know the storyline, so I was a bit like, "Where's Luke Skywalker? Come on, man, complete the set." But I had to pinch myself every minute, every day.
Yeah. It's a shame you couldn't take, because obviously on those jobs they say no pictures. It's a shame you can't actually take pictures, because it's like, can you imagine? You could have a library of produce an archive of pictures of who you've worked with, but obviously, you signed an agreement not to do that. So.
Yeah, and I mean, someone,
trouble.
if you, I feel a bit of a red dot could be on me now, even mentioning it, like over 5 years later, that it could be that I am, keep it, the mouse, ho, shut your mouth, Aristo, and you're gonna. I don't know if, am I okay?
Yeah,
is this all right?
5 years ago? 5 years ago.
Yeah, well, yeah, you never know. The mouse has
really
ways.
Check out T&J Take Over the World and talking about that.
Assassinated by the mouse. Yeah, but anyway, it's the Star Wars. I mean, do you think rock, scissors, stone? Rock, scissors, stone?
I can never do this, can I?
Rock, scissors.
I never do this.
For those listening, we're doing a feeble attempt at rock, scissors, stone to see whose story was better. I think being in a galaxy far, far away trumps being in a Mission Impossible and a Ready Player One. What do you think, folks?
I think mine, because I've worked with one of the best film directors in the whole world.
Well, JJ's on the rise. His stock is rising. You know.
JJ Abrams.
In fact, he's like a pupil in a way of Spielberg.
He would have looked up to him.
Yeah, I mean,
I worked with the better. Yeah, that's me.
Let's not create beef between the two film directors. Beat it. Want to stand in between, like, beat it, Michael Jackson. Like, no one needs to be defeated. No. It's okay. They're both living in mansions in Los Angeles.
Well, I know that
they'll be okay.
Steven Spielberg has a property in France, because I remember one of the days I was filming, he had to quickly get through this. You know, if you've been an extra before, it takes ages going over and over again. He had to, I remember someone, you know how word goes around saying, oh, he needs to go back to fly over to France. He's got a property.
As one does.
Yes, it's one of many of his properties.
many of the properties. Many. You know, give us one, Steve. Go on, mate. Go on, Steve. Give us one. In case you didn't realise, we're British guys. We are Londoners. So we might go into Cockney every now and again.
Oh no. Well, you're the.
Hello, Dave. I'm the Cockney.
You're the Cockney.
You're not London. You're from you're a Midlander.
Exactly.
What am I talking about? You're a Midlander.
Exactly. I'm a Midlander. I've been here.
You're an immigrant.
I've been here for almost
to this city.
Well, I've been here for I think it's 20 years now almost. So do I call myself a Midlander?
So you're talking like an under 20 rather than I have been here 20 years. 20 dear. 20 years. So about us, I think we've done that really. I'm the storyteller, you're the advocate. Some things have happened in our life. We don't want to get heavy on this show. It's not that kind of party. We don't get too heavy. But at the same time, we don't want to be too vanilla that there's sort of, it just goes through you like lightweight. Last year was a tough year for many folks. I think obviously with the big C sounds like a devastating thing. So let's say the Crown. Let's call it the Crown. And if you know Latin, you'll understand exactly what that means. So we've been going through the season of the Crown, not the Netflix TV series about the British royal family, but the English of a Latin term that has been the dominant thing that everybody has been talking about for the last 2 years. But people have lost so many people last year, and
it's really sad.
we lost loved ones last year, not from the crown, but through other natural causes or unnatural causes. And it started last year. You know, you had a big loss. Then I had a couple of major losses, one bigger than the other, not in terms of the value of the person, but the relationship. I lost my big sister in December, my sister Claire, who is still very, if you've ever lost someone, you know how hard it is to even come to terms with it, and how it's deeply personal. And you go through various cycles of grief and you never will fully get over it, but you move on. And I know she'd be like, Tone, you know, you got to get on with it. You got to do what you need to do. And it's been a huge kick up the backside to do some of those things that you want to do. I mean, I released a book last year, Coconut Prints, available in all good bookstores. Thank you.
So proud of you for that, because you finally got that book out.
Yeah.
After all these years.
And, you know, 10 years, literally 10 years in the making. It's just been, not because I'm a slow writer, but just because of, I think you've gotten over stuff. You think you've lived through it, so you can just sort of just do it. But then you realizing each chapter's like, ooh, that's still a bit raw. Those nerves are still throbbing. Yeah. So it took a little bit of while, didn't it, to just to get through and maybe have a peace with those chapters.
And I think
of
as
my
well,
life.
Even though it was 10 years, you was writing that, but I think you got to add things, maybe take things out, change the front cover. There's so many things that over the years, if you'd gone with that, it probably would have been good, but not as amazing how it looked. That front cover, the design and everything, which you did yourself, which was brilliant.
Thank you.
And I think 10 years was a good, I wouldn't recommend probably some people to stay 10 years, but for your situation, it worked out in the end, because it was an amazing.
I wouldn't recommend taking 10 years to write or do anything that long, because, you know, but it was what it was. But I think the thing that I'm really grateful for, I'll say grateful to God. We are Christians. We are God botherers, Bible thumpers. I like the term God botherer. It sounds like I'm a God botherer. I knock on God's door and say, hello, open the door. It's bothering time. You know, we're God botherers, we're Bible bashers. Don't like Bible bashing because it's violence, and don't really do violence. No. We're like, stop the violence. There's no need. White flag, make peace, no war. So we're not Bible bashers. We don't bash anybody with anything. Certainly not a Bible.
No, you don't bash them with the Bible. No. That would just be ruin the Bible.
Yeah, no. That's not... But I'm grateful that not only did I get to release and do it, but my sister, who features so much in the book, that she got to, I don't think she didn't get a chance to really to read it, at least not all of it, but she knew about it. She was proud of me. She was happy about it. Yeah. And there's such a tribute in the book to her, because she was a major person in my life. She was a pillar in many ways. With our parents gone, she was like the third parent, that figure, that a hybrid of sibling and parent that I'm really going to miss. I was devastated. We're gutted. That's our personal stuff. I'm not going to talk too much about that. But I say that not only to give tribute to my sister, Claire Avis, an amazing woman who gone far too soon, but to mention it because life is very, very short. She was only in her early 50s, and it was the big C that took her. That is cancer, and it's a killer. Naturally, it's a horrible, horrible disease. And the one thing you realize, I mean, 50s something is very young in this day and age. You know, our lifespan is, and to have so much life ahead, it just seems criminal that her life was cut when it wasn't. And it made us realize we need to be more grateful that we're alive.
Yeah, it's made me realize, actually, especially going into this new year of 2022, how it's like you're not promised tomorrow. So even doing this new podcast show, it's like, why wait till tomorrow, another day? You don't even know if you're going to be around, you know, or wait till next year, putting it off, because you just do not know.
You don't know.
You really don't know.
And we're younger than that, but you can go at any time. There's no age, is there? We don't know. We don't see the script ahead. No. And again, this is happy joy. We don't be morbid, but it's important that in terms of our why, a big part of our why is that we don't want to be in the passenger seat of our life anymore. Yeah. We are communicators, and we've been meaning to do this so long and we've gone all in.
All in.
We mean business with our taking over the world business. You know, this taking over the world bid is legit. You know, we're tooled up. We've got our battle plans out. We've got our battle station and it's on.
Yeah.
Isn't it?
So T, what happens if we really do take over the world?
Well,
Massive.
you know, I think the world would probably be a better place with us at the top, with us in new management. I think there'll be no wars unless you upset us. No, I'm sure there'll be no coups. There'd be peace on earth and it'd be a lot of fun.
Yeah, because it's meant to be an entertainment show.
Yeah, we're fun.
Yeah.
So,
it's a little bit, we're talking a little bit about people who passed today, but it's not going to be like that.
No, you won't need to, no morbidity, you know, it'll be fun. And yeah, we just really have got to a point where we're like, are we going to do this? Do it, come on, do it. Get to the chopper. Do it now. That was a lousy Arnie impression, if ever there was.
It's not bad.
Yeah, it won't get me jobs. So we really want to go on an adventure with you. Yes, you. We want to share our many, many opinions on many, many things, particularly things, popular culture. We love movies. We're big film buffs. I think you already know what my favorite movie or franchise of all time is. Probably, if you were listening earlier. Hey, what's your favorite movie? What's your favorite movie?
You know what? I don't think I really have a favorite as such.
Yeah, a favorite.
No, I don't think I have a favorite. I don't, like, yours is Star Wars, obviously. Mine is...
Spelled it out.
Sorry. I'm telling for the audience. I'm the voice.
Yeah, in case they're a little slow, you know, you had to spell it out very, very specifically. Yeah, like, oh yeah, it's forget subtlety and hints.
No, I actually don't have a favorite. I like certain genres like action, romance. Romance. I said
Nomance. Nomance. Don't give me, don't give me nomance.
I actually
don't smushy stuff.
I don't actually have a favorite film as such. Not like you two.
Yeah,
you do.
Funny you mentioned romance because it was Valentine's Day, wasn't it?
Oh yeah, I forgot it was Valentine. It didn't really seem like Valentine. It was a different sort of Valentine's anyway. So.
And why was it different, Jay?
We were just working, we just do nothing. But it was good to be working with you because it's work and I still get to be with you anyway.
Working day and night.
Exactly.
Okay, I mean, that's probably enough of, our Valentine's stuff. Yes. I don't think it's that interesting.
No.
To be frank,
boring, isn't it?
I don't think they're tuning in. I don't think, you at home or you at work or wherever you're listening to us or watching us, I don't think you're that enamored with exactly what we did on Valentine's Day. Anyway, PG-13 show as well.
It's gone now. It started and then it went. It just went so quick.
So, yeah, in our bid to take over the world, we will entertain you. Our promise to you is we'll make you laugh. We'll make you smile. We'll stimulate your mind. We might challenge you. What else might we do? In what they get from our takeover.
I think you said it already. I can't think of anything else.
I'll come in and rescue Jay when her brain freezes. Maybe. How about that? A deal. But in terms of moving on to a next kind of part of our big topic, our main topic for today, till the end of the show, is we are going to talk about the Mac Daddy, the Godfather, the king of all podcasters, is Mr. Joe Rogan of the Joe Rogan Experience, or JRE, for those in the know, the JRE, the big Joe Rogan, the Joe Rogan Experience. Yo, Joe. Joe.
Yeah, Joe Rogan is really a big time. Like, he's literally taken over the world.
Yeah. I mean, we'd have to fight him to take over the world.
Space, Joe. Move out the way.
Ooh. Well, I wouldn't fight him, I don't think, because he's an MMA fighter.
Put you down to the ground, innit?
So just so you'd snap me like a twig, I'm sure.
That would not go down too well.
But to put things into context, Joe Rogan was a stand-up comedian. He still is a stand-up comedian. Pretty big one in America. And also, he's a stand-up comedian come mixed martial artist. So he's also fought. So I wonder if he gets a battering, he might put out some jokes and distract and disarm his opponent, and then judo chop, boom, knocks him out.
Wow.
Boom.
He'd have so many stories to tell though, wouldn't he? Because if he does his stand-up still,
Yeah.
he can, when he's done his show, he's doing his podcast show.
Yeah.
I guess he could use some of those stories to be able to put it to use it for his stand-up.
And he can
comedy.
kick ass.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So he's got so many stories to tell.
Yeah.
But,
And I think what's interesting is he started a podcast several years ago. And I guess it was just one of many things that he was doing, obviously, besides the stand-up and the kicking ass. But he loves to talk.
Yeah.
And I think he turned that love of talking to a massive empire now, where he is the biggest single podcaster on the planet. And he was purchased, his show, which I believe was independent, his baby, was bought by Spotify for about 100 million. So, bit of change.
Wow,
Not
it's a
bad.
bit of change. Bit of change.
Not bad.
Wow.
Not bad. I think not bad, Joe. And you could buy a world with that. I think you almost, you don't just take one over, just buy a new planet. So his show is hugely successful, very popular. He has some of the biggest names and thinkers, various disciplines.
Yeah, like Jordan Peterson. You watch the show more than me, so I can't remember. That's the only one that stands out to me.
Professor Jordan B. Peterson.
He's got some really big, profound speakers.
But then someone like Dave Chappelle, up the other end of the spectrum.
Yeah.
What has got him into trouble was he's had some free thinkers, some people talking about vaccines or anti-vaxxers or different things. So we're not going to go too much there. We don't want to be taken off before we've even gotten past episode 1. No, but he's had a variety of different voices, people from all different perspectives, religious, atheist, liberal, like leftist, left, right, in between, shake all about. If you want to have a chat for sometimes 4 hours, that's 4 hours, folks. 4 hours. 4,
Wow.
not 1, not 2, 3, 4.
4 hours.
Then,
Gosh.
that's a lot, isn't it?
Definitely 4 hours of people to listen in. That's how you know he's got a lot of people that love his content. I think it was over 100. I can't remember now. It's got millions of listeners that's tuned in all the time. So for someone to go on for 4 hours, that's like, wow.
He's got a lot to say.
Got a lot
him and
to
his
say.
guests.
And the fact that he brings in profound people makes it more interesting to listen to anyway. Like Jordan Peterson, and you've got some different, top heads talking on there. So,
Not bad, because then you don't watch it.
well, that's why I don't know all the names. Jordan Peterson's someone that I've just actually recently started to listen to.
Oh.
And he's very, very, very interesting to listen to. Very smart, very profound talker, and very deep. And not a lot. He doesn't get a lot of likes from a lot of people, which I understand why. Because when someone goes really deep, and people are like, "Oh, I don't understand that. I don't get you."
Can I do a name drop?
Yeah, go and do a name drop.
Please, can I do a name drop? Okay. Name drop time.
Yeah, go on.
Let me come close to this. I've actually met Jordan B. Peterson and asked him a question once. Ooh.
Well, I bet I know that question was deep as well, right?
So I used to work for a radio station, a religious one that was quite big. I keep twiddling with this.
No, why do you keep twiddling with that?
Twiddling
Because the lights.
because of lights. I like lights. I like
action.
lights. Shiny. He was in London and he did a big show at the O2 where he was debating Simon Harris. And I worked for a very big religious broadcaster. And I was able to go down and cover the event for online, and I got to be in a room where there's a few people who got to ask Professor Peterson, Jordan B. Peterson, a question. He was a lovely guy, very generous with his time and his mind, extremely sharp, extremely engaging, and I was a fan before and I was a fan afterwards, and I know he gets a bad rap from people that actually don't often listen to what he has to say. And they want to lump him in with certain people groups and certain ideologies, because you can't be a complex person. You're either all one thing or all another thing. There isn't, so there's no chance that you can be a nuanced, three-dimensional person, right? You've got to be in one camp or the other.
Exactly. I started to listen to him. He's very profound, and actually I've learned some things from him. Like, wow, he's very, that's all I'll say. Very, very, very profound, very much he's a very smart. You can see how his brain works and stuff like that. And it's just, wow, I think he's very deep. But as I said before, I can understand why people don't like him, because he rub a lot of people up the wrong way. And even someone like Joe Rogan having him on his show, it's like, why you got this guy on his show talking like that?
Yeah, he's been on the show quite a number of times, and I think
definitely
they will talk for hours. In fact, their recent convo was one of those, I think, 4-hour chats.
Wow.
But when you actually start watching, you realize, well, they could have spoken for 10.
Yeah.
There's a lot.
A lot to unpack.
And I mean, once you hear Jordan Peterson get going, the stuff he pulls out of his mind, you're just like aghast.
Were you that tone? So when you met him, when he was talking, were you like,
it's like Wayne's World. You're not worthy. We're not worthy. We're not worthy. Wayne's World. Party time. Excellent. No, I didn't fall at his feet and say, "Come see a man." No, I mean, I've watched hours of his content, and I just love the dude. I think he's incredibly needed at this time. Especially for young men. And I love the fact that I'd say he'd call himself a Christian with a big dose of, I don't know if this is real or not.
Yeah.
He
does do a lot of, that's what I like about him, actually. He just reminded me of something. He questions things, and he thinks the way he speaks, he delivers, he sort of thinks. He's very much a thinker, isn't he? And he sort of, way he delivers things, very emotional, actually. Read some of the things I've been listening on YouTube about him. It's just deeply got an emotion there deep down. So even the way he expresses himself, and I can understand how some people won't really understand him and be like, what on earth is this guy on about? I don't get this guy.
A lot of people. Anyway, this isn't the Jordan B Peterson loving.
We just got carried away with the Joe Rogan.
It's not the fan fest. We're talking about Joe. Hey, Joe. Is that being forgotten now, Joe? If it not been for podcast Joe. If that been for podcast Joe, we'd be top of the board. So the interesting thing about Joe Rogan, beside the fact that he has a hit show, he has big names, and he himself is an up there guy. He's got into some hot water, really, isn't he?
Yeah, he has.
Like when we spoke about mentioning and having certain people on the show with certain opinions that, to put it gently, are seen as controversial. There have been people that have been petitioning and boycotting Spotify to get him off.
Get him out of here. But they can't.
Like the famous singer like Neil Young, he says, I'm going to take all my music off of Spotify unless you take Joe Rogan off in protest. And I was like, Neil who?
It definitely wouldn't happen because
Sorry.
He's a big play for them. He's a massive moneymaker for Spotify. There's no way. Number one, there's no way they're going to take him off there, because he makes them a lot of money. Yeah. And number two, it's like, no, he's not cancelable. You can't cancel Joe Rogan. There's a few celebrities you just can't cancel.
Well, I wouldn't go that far to say he's uncancelable, because I mean, nobody is uncancelable, especially in the climate we're in. I think you've got, give it your best shot if you're going to come for someone like that. I think it's fair to say that it'd be very difficult to cancel someone at that level. And that's not to say because, no one's that bulletproof, but he has a very thick vest, because the fan base, because here's the thing, if you take him off air, if Spotify were to yeet him, to kick him off, there are other people, Rumble, who've come, knock, was it? Hello, Joe. We heard you're looking for a new home for your podcast. Come on in. There'll be other places he could take his hit show, or he could just continue to do it independently, and he's got all those millions of viewers. He has more listeners to his show than I believe watch CNN,
That's crazy.
MSNBC, Fox News, all these big outlets.
That's so crazy. Wow.
I mean, what do you think about that?
When you told me about that, I was thinking, are you for real? How on earth does he have more listeners than CNN? So
Mad,
can you
isn't
imagine
it?
that's why
Mad.
their backs are up about him, isn't it? That's why their backs are up, because they're annoyed. They're like, this guy, we need to get this guy out the way. We
Kill
need to get rid
Joe
of this guy because
Rogan.
he's just taking over the world so much that he's just getting on our nerves. And he's got all these people that are coming in with their madness, chatting this craziness. That's the thing. It's like
Their perspective, of course,
their
not
perspective.
our perspective.
But everyone is entitled to an opinion, and there's free speech. But now we've got cancel culture and stuff like that. It's just what people just want to get people out of the way and stop talking. You can't agree with everyone. You can't.
Yeah.
We need to all have all our own opinions.
Well, here's the thing, folks. Here's the thing.
Yeah.
Me and you, we're talking.
Yeah.
Here's the thing. Yeah. The problem is that as great as it is that you can, at a push of a button, distribute your opinions and your voice to all over the world. We're in London. We could be broadcasting and people can hear us in China, in Africa, America, Timbuktu. You can build a community. You can create an audience off of a platform literally on your mobile phone. Isn't that amazing?
Yeah,
However,
so true.
here's the flip side of that. You can broadcast your opinions and your voice to all over the world and to potentially millions of people. And it only takes a small sample of people to be upset, and you can be in a lot of trouble. I mean, you can be cancelled at best, and maybe even sued and arrested at worst, because it's never been more true to be very careful with what you say and to tame the tongue.
Oh my gosh.
And what do you think? It's mad, isn't it?
It's
That
just
what you say
crazy.
can
It's
really
like,
get you in trouble.
I would never think like years ago this was going to happen, where if you say something you can get cancelled because you're taking away people's livelihoods. People can't earn any money, and but people just don't really think, they just do. And like, we're living in a society now where people just don't care. They literally could just turn on you 1 minute, they like you, next minute you say something out of order, you're like, she's gone, he's gone, you're cancelled.
Yeah.
I think it's horrible.
Officially, it's horrible. I mean,
horrible, isn't it?
there's good people that we've grown up with and grown up watching who just don't exist anymore in terms of the platform. I mean, and again, we're not saying that somebody shouldn't have deserved to have, maybe had their platform removed or to fall out of favor in terms of the industry or a wider world. We're not really commenting on one way or the other. But it's just interesting how all of what someone contributed, maybe they're an entertainer or somebody who was a political figure or something. We're in a time where any good that they did do, if they say the wrong thing or do the wrong thing now, it's as if they'd never done anything. Like everything, people would just put it on the fire. It's like, no, if you split up with someone, and I mean, we've never done that because we're practically childhood sweethearts, but you say you split up with your fella or your lady, you're like, I'm going to, throw their clothes out or throw it on the fire to purge yourself of of the memory. You don't even want to be reminded of that person anymore. That's the point we're at now, isn't it?
Yeah, I think that's just, I don't know. When I think about cancel culture, I just think that's just so cold.
Yeah.
Like, literally could be an actress or anyone like that. And it's like, 1 minute you like the person, they say something out of order that you don't agree with. And then you're like, yeah, you're gone, you're cancelled. I don't care about not earning any money no more. What she said hurt my feelings. It's like, come on, grow up, people. And it's like, I just think I don't say it's evil, I think it's cold. And very selfish. We live in quite a very selfish and cold society, from my opinion.
Yeah, and I think it's a fair one.
Yeah.
It's a fair opinion, but you know what? Opinions can get you in a lot of bother.
Yeah.
That's
the problem we're having now. Opinions can get you in a bother.
And here's the worrying thing, babes.
Yeah.
we're storytellers and you're an advocate, giving a voice to people. Because in our other day job, we're pastors, we're people that we take care of people, not necessarily like in a building, but we have a community of people that we look out for. It's all about family. Yeah, family. And what you say, we're quite used to the idea of what you say, you have to be measured with your words, because I mean, over the years, especially in, religious circles, people can literally hang on your words. So a disclaimer, anything on this show, anything on T and J, with our bid to take over the world, is our opinion. It's not gospel. We're not laying down the foundation of, we haven't, because we're not running the world yet. When we run the world, we'll let you know. When it's ours, we'll put it in concrete and stone exactly what the rules are. But for now, we're just literally enjoying ourselves. Hopefully you do too. Yeah. But it's lighthearted. We're expressing our opinion while it's still legal. Yep. We're expressing our opinion, folks. And if you don't agree, it's cool. In fact, let us know you don't agree. Respectfully, of course. Don't call us nasty names and be horrid.
And also as well, T, you don't actually have to agree with everything people say. It's just everyone's going to have their own opinions.
Say what?
Like, just be all right about it. It's good. It's all good. Opinions make arguments anyway. If everyone agrees with the same thing, where on earth is the argument?
So you're saying, it's possible to have an opinion that's different to somebody else's.
Of course.
You're twisting my melon, man. Mind blown.
That's what I said. If everyone agreed on the same thing, then there's no argument.
I'll pick up the energy. Feel a bit clever.
There's no argument.
You're a bit serious there. Energy.
Yeah, because it's a serious thing. It's a serious thing because it's like, that's why I don't understand cancel culture, because you can't all agree on that. We're all different people, and you're not going to agree on the same thing. Even we don't agree on the same thing. We're all different. Otherwise, what kind of humans would we be? Just agreeing with like robot. Yeah, we agree.
Yes, sir.
That's not normal.
Yeah, we fall out all the time. We have epic arguments, and sometimes we go rock scissors to end it. That's why I win all the time. You don't have to do rock paper scissors.
I don't know why. I did it in my childhood, didn't I? I forgot now.
Oh well. I put away childish things. So censorship is a real one, isn't it? Because we do believe on one hand in freedom of speech. Mm-hmm. At the same time, we also believe in responsibility of speech. Yeah, and if you say something stupid, then don't be surprised if there's a nuclear fallout. People will drop you. Yeah. People don't want to know you no more. For me, I think if someone wants to be a racist and say racist things, or rather, not that they go up to someone and say something racist, you know what I mean? But if they've made a racist joke or called whatever, it's free speech. I'm not happy with it, and I'd be offended, if it's to me, but I'm not going to want to police what people say and think. However, if they're in a position of high profile, maybe lose your job, because you shouldn't have been stupid to say something. And here's where maybe I draw the line. If you say something publicly that's stupid and offensive, then wash my hands with you and you made your bed, you lied.
What you've said there, T, that's totally different, because I think wisdom comes in there. If you're a big profile person, I think it is about being careful what you say. Obviously, I've said earlier today that opinions, we're all each entitled to our own opinions, but you are very right. I do agree with that, isn't to say that you have to just be careful what you say, especially if you are someone that people know all over the world. You don't just say something stupid, because that will get you cancelled. So I think there's wisdom that comes in it as well. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, totally.
Yeah. So I think it's wisdom, thinking through what you're saying before you say it, instead of just being like, there's a tongue.
Don't be like us, we just make it up as we go along. Yeah, exactly. Whatever thought pops in our head, we get behind the microphone and record it. Just kidding. Honest. We did plan this.
We did plan it.
We
planned.
Plan to fail,
But
failure to plan.
I definitely think that, you know, cancel culture is maybe something that's going to be around for a while, a long time. I don't know if it's going to get any worse. But if you cancel everyone, there'll be no one talking, will there?
Maybe it will get cancelled.
Cancel talking.
Cancel talking, but also cancel culture. Cancel culture has been cancelled.
Yeah.
Who cancels the council? Who cancels the cancellers? That's the question.
Yeah, who cancelled the cancellers?
Yeah.
But,
I mean, Russell Brand was called far right wing the other day.
Oh, was he?
You know, Russell Brand.
What?
Russell Brand, right wing.
Yeah.
What have you been smoking and drinking, mate?
Wow. Who
He's
called him
as
that?
liberal and kind of open as they come. But I think because he appeared on Joe Rogan.
See, when you get on the Joe Rogan show,
Yeah.
it causes problems, doesn't it?
Yeah. You get tarnished now with a brush. I think there's a hit job because, listen, you know, like the whole Western, this town ain't big enough for the both of us.
Yeah.
Shoot out at dawn. The media, the legacy media, as they call it, the big corporations are like, we can't have this Lone Ranger in this upstart come and have a piece of the pie that's bigger than ours or challenges and rivals ours.
God.
And he's just one person.
That's crazy.
So I think they weren't that bothered about the opinions of fringe people on the show before. It's been running for years.
Yeah.
But when the Crown scenario came, it kind of, and I get it, there is a sense of responsibility. And they've since put disclaimers on such episodes of the Joe Rogan Experience. Can't complain with that. But certainly, I think in many ways that's been the reasonable excuse to want to shut down. It's almost like a mafia hit. They want to do it in a way that's not obvious to outsiders that this is what they're up to. But at the same time, it's like, well, we'll let you know that we're onto you.
Gosh.
We're after you.
Watching you.
And you better watch your back. You might get some Jason Bournes show up at your door, sleeper agents with their Krav Maga. Just as well, Joe knows how to hand himself, doesn't it? Just as well, he knows how to do a little bit of a mix, a martial arts.
Otherwise, he'd be in a lot of trouble, Joe Rogan, wouldn't he? He couldn't handle himself, particularly.
Yeah, especially if they send agents around to silence him.
Gosh.
Which we hope. We're only kidding, guys. We're peace and love. we just, we know we're storytellers. We're picturing an action movie here. We're not wishing harm to befall anyone or anything like that. We are just mucking about.
Gosh. I actually read recently that some of his videos got taken down, Joe Rogan's, because he's been censorship, isn't he?
Oh, yeah, well, yeah.
Wow.
That's a sensitive one to us. You may have realized one way or the other, however you're consuming us, our listener right now, that we are people of color. We are Black. I'm of Nigerian heritage.
I'm of Jamaican heritage.
So last I checked, both Nigeria and Jamaica were predominantly had a Black populations, of which that says it for us. We are British. I know, American friends, your mind is still blown that there are Black folk in Britain. There are Black folk? Black folk in the UK? Child, I know no Black folk. You ain't Black. That sounds bad, innit? But I've got American family and friends, folks, so I'm not being prejudiced. Can you do accents anymore? If you do someone's accent, is that like a cultural appropriation?
Oh, gosh.
You know,
people get sensitive about everything these days. It's like you can't say anything these days.
But speaking of saying things that you probably shouldn't have said, Joe Rogan, there was footage unearthed, a super clip from India Ree. Brown skin. I won't sing anymore in case they put my brown skin to the courts. Great song. That's a tune. And great artist. She did a super cut of every time Mr. Rogan used the N-word in his podcasts. What? And we're not talking about nice. We're talking about a certain racial slur that rhymes with Sigger.
Whoa.
Let's not spell it out. Family show. And I think in context, it seems like it was like how Quentin Tarantino constantly, often in his movies, has used the N-word. And there's this whole kind of thing of culture about my N-word, and Black folk can use it. But if you're, a white guy who happens to be friends with a black guy or black group of friends. And so you're listening to, you know, a Dr. Dre beat and you're like, and what's up, Matt? And you say, it's like, you know,
Gosh.
everyone gets, you know, the dagger eyes looking at him like, what do you say, boy? What do you say, boy?
Yeah, that's. I think that one is just like you've got to really think through that before you even say that. 'Cause that's a sensitive word.
So, and I hate the word. I mean, there are many folk, even, you know, there are a lot of black folk who are like, we're reclaiming the word. It's ours. We will use it. We can use it. That nobody else can outside of the race. And we don't agree with that, do we?
No.
We think the word should be buried and in the sea of forgetfulness in the past.
Don't say that.
Boy, bye. Go bye. Word bye. But in the interim, it's here at the moment. It's not gone anywhere. And unfortunately, it was too familiar, a word that rolled off the tongue of Joe Rogan. So this supercut has made the rounds on social media as it does. And that has been another blow to him, an embarrassment for Spotify. And of course, that's as well as the you know, the big outbreak issue that we won't name. This has added to that fire to have even more episodes of the JRE show censored. Those shows have just disappeared into the archives
Gone in the wind.
of Spotify.
Wow. So what do you think? I don't even know what's going to happen next. Like, it's just as everything unravels with the Joe Rogan experience.
It's suspenseful, isn't it? I would say...
Man. I think maybe he's probably going to get on his own platform. Probably very likely after a while would just come off YouTube, split with Spotify and just create his whole big platform.
Well,
He's got the money, he's got the profile, he can do it.
He's got the money.
He's got the money, yeah.
But you know what? As much as our heart bleeds for Joe and his woes, you know, he's having a hard time, you know, it's a hard knock life.
It's a hard knock.
Not too much, otherwise we have to pay a royalty.
Yeah, I know.
7 gays and we get sued. We really must look at the fair use policies.
Yeah.
But anyway, as much as we feel it for Joe, it's not about Joe. It's about, it's the big picture of, you know, some of the obstacles of speaking into the atmosphere. You know, what you can say, what you can't say. I mean, we joined Facebook. I mean, you needed to be dragged onto Facebook at the time.
I didn't even want to go on Facebook. I joined Facebook in, when was it? 2007.
And that's when it started.
And he was like, come on Facebook. I was like, but I don't want to because I'm quite a private person. I don't want to be on there. I don't even have time to be on there.
Yeah.
I've got a little girl to look at her.
So much to do.
Exactly. Got so much to do. Why am I going to be on this silly Facebook? Why do I need to be on it? But
she lives on it now, folks. Well, until a few weeks ago.
Yeah, until a few.
She literally lived on
I've not
Facebook.
been on it for a few weeks. So
Don't be deceived.
I don't miss it at all.
Love the Facebook.
It was called
Keeping
the Facebook,
Zuckerberg
wasn't it?
afloat.
The Facebook.
But yeah, why are we talking about Facebook again? I completely had a moment like, woof.
I think you just had a blip, didn't you?
I had a blip.
Just mentioned
Oh, okay, Facebook. Yeah, so when we start, you put all your pictures on, you have a night out, people would tag you. And you know, people have literally lost their jobs because they were tagged having a bit too few many on a night out. And when their bosses have looked, they've seen them and it's gone out there and they've been like, we don't think you're quite a right fit for our organization. People have been caught out. You know, it wasn't me. People have been caught out having illicit affairs because, you know, of Facebook and social media. There's been a lot of challenges with social media. Obviously, minors, we've got children. Sometimes your teenager will go on Instagram and predators will try and reach out to them. There's a lot of challenges, dangerous opportunities, choppy waters, let's say,
you just got
online.
I think you just got to be careful what content you put out there. Obviously, if you're going to, say for instance, you've got an interview with a major company, you can't just, you probably just have to pull some of your pictures. Or if you're an actor or someone of high profile, you can't just put anything out. I think it's just about using your brain.
Yeah. Your noggins.
Yeah.
You know, think.
Because they will check. They check.
You got to
these things.
think.
They check these things. They really do. They check these things out, especially if you had an interview beforehand. They're going to check you out and think, then they're probably more likely make a decision before you enter the room.
Yeah. They will do their homework on you.
Yeah.
That much is true.
They will.
There'll be and that's the thing. Now you have what was once a private life has very much become a public life. So you're thinking you're just chatting with people, and then some people don't even know the difference between changing the broadcast or what you put to world or private. So sometimes people put stuff out on Facebook not realizing it's to the wide world of that platform and not realizing their stuff has been seen. Or if someone tags you, whatever, they can post your pictures somewhere else and you don't even know and you've not given consent. So
yeah, exactly. That's a bit annoying. I remember I was on Facebook a lot before, until a few weeks ago. You know, when people just tag you, like, just tag you in a group or tag you for you're like, why am I being tagged here? I don't want to be a part of this.
If someone tagged me in real life, they'd get a bunch of fives, I tell you. Tagging me.
Maybe I don't know if there's any way you can block that or something. I know Instagram, sometimes I've had that problem where I've been tagged in a group. I'm like, I don't want to be. And then I look at the people, I'm like, what has this got to do with me? I don't want to be tagged.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, waste of time. People have got time on their hands.
Listen, tag me at your peril. Yeah. I'll send the boys round. I don't want to be tagged. All right.
No more tagging.
No surveillance. Just say no. But on a serious note, there are, and especially I'm glad these social media platforms didn't exist when I was a teenager. Because man, I mean, remember our kids tell us if there's a fight at school, it will often be 9 times out of 10, it will be filmed like an action movie.
Yep.
They'll film it, they'll broadcast it.
Yep.
You'll be famous, but for all the wrong reasons.
Crazy.
So you can't even have a fight at school without it being, I mean, number one, don't fight at school or anywhere, folks. Make peace, not war. Just when you think it's over, you've got people in other schools and all around the neighborhood and all over the borough seeing you. And imagine you're a parent and you're seeing your little Johnny or your little Jill. Very black names, by the way. Battered and being, on a serious note, it's very disturbing. Yeah. And I think just whatever you put out there online, there are massive pluses, but there are also dangerous minuses. Definitely. And I think that's some of the reasons why we may have had some hesitancy about, particularly when it's putting your opinions and your voice out there. But you know what? Be darned, we're doing it anyway.
Exactly. Because if we don't do it now, when on earth would we do it, T? When on earth would we do it? Next year, the year after?
Yeah. So
don't put things off to another day. You just never know.
Listen, there's only so many times you can try and take over the world, right?
That's right. It's got its time.
You got to make this takeover bid work. Innit? You're going to be serious about it. And I think that we've weighed the pros and cons, and hopefully you've weighed the pros and cons in listening to this, and it's neither bored you or upset you, triggered you. But you've got some good stuff from it. If not, we'll try better next time. This is only episode 1, folks.
Only the beginning.
But the great opportunities outweigh the bad. But you just got to be mindful that it is dangerous. You're at sea. Being out on sea can be marvelous, but it also can be like a beast that can just completely take over and cause you lots of harm. And Gary Vee, another guy. And can I name drop again? Can I name drop? Yeah, just between us. Yeah. I've met Gary Vee too. And he was a great guy. I got to meet him. I got to talk to him. Got a picture with him that I might show at some point. And it was great. Gary Vaynerchuk. Gary Vee, to the initiated. He came to London some years ago. Remember?
Yeah, I remember.
Yeah.
You spent out a few hours.
Yeah, it's hours. Yeah. We hang out. We're mates. We're brethrens, me and Gary. It was like, Gary, my man.
I think when you came back,
me and Gaz.
about like you've known him for years.
I know, yeah. I mean, it was me and about 200 people. Wow. I had my own 5 minutes with him,
Yeah.
5 minutes of fame. But what happened is Gary was over for a conference and he just spontaneously, and this is when I used to use Twitter, like tweeting, hey, Gaz, all right, mate, all right, me old mate. Hello, son. What happened is he was tweeting and he said, hey, people, I'm going to be at this location in London. Come and holler. We'll just chat, we'll catch up and just have some fun. So I jumped on the train and went down there, and there wasn't that many people at the time when I arrived. So I was one of the early people.
No security,
No.
nothing. Wow.
That's how he rolls, man. Gary just rolls different. He just rolls like a regular
deep.
guy who was just wanting to hang out. And he did that.
That
He
is so
literally
nice.
answered people's questions. He did little video stuff with people. I mean, that man was the truth. And not many people. I've met a lot of celebrities. In one of my former lives, I did some red carpet and junket stuff as an entertainment correspondent. Like I said, when I worked in broadcasting, a lot of it was for fun, actually. I mean, it wasn't always my official role. It was something I just, I'll interview that person. And I got to interview Jennifer Hudson just before she got the Oscar, Stephen Baldwin, again, another Bible basher, Cuba Gooding Jr. The list goes on. Marlon Jackson of the Jackson 5. We love the Jacksons. And that's something we'll talk about another time. Yeah, Stephen Baldwin, I mentioned that. And just, in that gig, there were some great opportunities to meet some very interesting people. I didn't interview Gary Vee. I wish I kind of did now.
That would have been interesting.
Yeah. But I did a Vine with him, but I didn't realize at the time.
You did a what?
Vine. Remember when you do a Vine, you do and it's temporary. It's like, I didn't know. So you could save it, but I didn't know. So I lost that footage. And I remember his assistant, D-Rock or something, reached out. Yeah, D-Rock.
Well, that's an interesting. Is he a DJ or something?
I don't know.
Like a DJ, like D-Rock?
D-Rock. That'd be DJ Rock. That'd be DJ Rock.
DJ D-Rock. Maybe.
I think it's D-Rock. Not The Rock.
I know.
It's like D.
I know not The
D-Rock. Sometimes you say D instead of V.
Yeah.
Anyway, we're going over. But in short, Gary Vee was a legend. And he really, I've learned so much from his videos, his seminars, his talks on embracing aspects of the platforms, platform building. And I remember telling him I was going to do this, and that was several years ago. But guess what? Better late than never, folks. Remember, whole new world. No better time than to start a new thing in this brand new era, isn't it?
Exactly. At least you started it now. You said a few years ago, but it's like sometimes just not the right time. Or is it the right time?
Yeah.
Maybe you just weren't ready.
Yeah.
You have to be ready to take over the world.
Read that, Freddie.
Right?
And you know what? Like the songwriter says in the song Chumbawamba, if the worst thing happens, we get knocked down, we get up again. You're never going to keep us down.
Exactly.
You will not. We might fall. We might get hit. We are not going to be scared. We're gonna say it how it is. If we offend you, sorry, didn't mean it. If you're easily offended, sorry, see a therapist or listen to another show. Listen to, go and watch Joe. Listen to Joe. But we hope that you come along on this journey with us as we want to entertain.
Yeah, we just want to entertain and have a lot of fun in it.
Have fun.
That's all.
Get some insights into our marriage.
Oh, no, not too much of that.
Yeah. Will they stay together, folks? Find out by the next episode. There'll be just a single chair in episode whatever number. Be like, what happened? What happened to Jay? That will happen now. If ever there's an episode where one of us can't make it, people are going to be, hello. Hello.
Where is she?
I only hear one voice. I only see one chair. What's going on then?
No, you just have
What's going on?
Probably have a special guest or something for the day. Replace me. You won't be on your own. It's not the same if you're on your own.
It'll be like those soaps. Today, Jolene will be played by, or the understudy of a theatrical production.
Oh, no.
We came to see the main star.
Oh, no.
But anyway, so we are probably a lot more Team Gary in terms of. Ooh. That was live, folks. You can tell it's live. I had a little sneeze. Sorry about that. Gesundheit. We probably are Team Gary in that we are far more aware of the positivity and the opportunities that come with speaking to you. Yes, you.
Me.
And we want you to know, yeah, that, to quote Friends, we will be there for you. When the rain starts to pour, no, actually, we're going to stay in because we don't like rain. We don't do rain. We only do sunshine. So unlike Friends, we'll be reviewing conditions. You know, when the weather's good, good vibes. Yeah, we're staying in it.
Freezing.
When the rain starts to pour, I ain't going nowhere. I leave my house. You can be there for yourself.
You can just put your boots on, your wellies on, your hat on, your scarf on.
Yeah, you can. You go. You're the advocate. You go and take care of people.
Yeah, that's true. I do.
You know, I'll be watching Netflix.
Just, just talk over the phone.
Yeah. So, in short, we are down for the ride. Won't you join us too? We are having fun. I have been T.
I've been Jay.
And we are taking over the world. This is a takeover bid. You have been warned. And at least if we don't take over the world, we'll have a lot of fun trying. And we will obviously be letting you know of our opinions. Some you'll like, some you'll not like. But we're all grown-ups here. We'll keep the show PG-13. But in terms of get used to the idea that people have different opinions.
They really do.
And we want to encourage you as well, listening, to don't be scared to have an opinion. Don't be ignorant. Do your homework. Listen to someone. Maybe listen to a couple of people on different sides of the spectrum. You know, like it's a bit old-fashioned. Person A, person B. Maybe you meet in the middle. Maybe it's somewhere in the middle is the truth. There's his story, her story, and then somewhere in the middle is the truth.
And as I said earlier, it's if everyone has the same opinion, where on earth is the argument then?
Yeah.
It's just so boring. You know
You'll see, trust me, you'll see us fight on this. You'll see fight. See, I'm a Nigerian. I'm Nigerian in my blood, and you are Jamaican. You're a Jamo. You are Jamaican. So we will fight.
Who's stronger then?
We shall fight. I will be victorious. We both come from Jamaican and Nigerian heritages mixed. That is combustion waiting to happen. So we, if you get lucky, you tune in the right time, you might just be a witness. But that's been us for the last time. I've been T.
I've been Jay.
And this is T and J Take Over the World. Episode 1 ended, and we will see you next time. Have a good day wherever you are. Study peace. Peace out.
Hey, thank you so much for watching. If you really enjoyed this video, please subscribe below, where also we have more videos on entertainment, opinion, and chat. You're really going to enjoy it. Also, if you really enjoy it that much, we have a weekly podcast on all platforms. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.